You see James Corden went on Hot Ones? It is such a fucking terrible episode. I talked about it when it happened. I'll talk about it again. Oh, I can't believe I did Cordonic. I'll talk about it again. It's just... He somehow turns the most fun format into something almost unwatchable. He just has this incredible ability to just suck the joy out of everything he's a part of. I don't get it. It's actually incredible. Not even Sean Evans could bring out, like, a fun side of James. Watch it? I've already watched it once. I'm definitely not doing it again. Thanks, Resub, Tyler, and Foofy, and Race. Have you seen the Boneworks VR speedruns? I have not. 113 million views? Yeah, it's Gordon Ramsay, baby. What makes James Corden unbearable? I know nothing about him, literally zero. It's actually kind of hard to explain. You have to listen to him or watch him to really get it. But he's a comedian, I suppose, is the official title for him. But he doesn't really even make jokes. The things that he thinks are jokes are always just kind of like a nothing. It's like an actual just a nothing. He just says something and like nothing comes out as like entertaining. And his attitude is also just terrible. Thanks to the Prime, Ominix, and the resub, Jack, and Tier 1 Bar, and the bits Torian remain. I don't know, he's just like truly insufferable. There's a Prime Frosty. 200k dislikes. Oh, on the Hot Ones episode. People just don't like him. Like, it's not like a hot take from me. Like, there's just something deeply ingrained in human DNA to not like James Corden. I have never met, nor have I ever seen on Twitter or anywhere, a James Corden fan. I don't know what his audience is, if there is one, but there must be one. I've just never seen it, and I can't really imagine it. Because again, like, he doesn't really, like, tell jokes. He doesn't really do anything that could be construed as entertaining. He's just energetic, I guess. But even that isn't super special. Like, he doesn't have super high energy. He just has some energy. It doesn't compute where his audience is or what they are. He's just truly obnoxious. Hating on James Corden again? It happens all the time, man. Yeah. I don't bring it up. I really don't. Chat does. Chat asked me about James Corden on Hot Ones, which I've already talked about, by the way. There's a gift sub again, Bar. Was there at least one joke that you liked from James? I can't think of any off the top of my head. Like, when he does try to make jokes, it's so fucking bad, and it usually ends up in a musical, which is one of my, like, least favorite things to happen. Like, musical comedy numbers. It's, like, it just grinds my ass. I don't really like it. So, one of his skits that went viral for people shitting on him was, don't talk about... Oh, yeah. Don't talk about Jada. And it's just bad. Like, it's just not entertaining at all. And the resub tofu. Show us the pain. I mean, I'll show you just the beginning. I'm not gonna get into the music. I just don't like it at all. And then that's the whole song. It's just like the parody of not talking about Jada. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I don't know who's consuming it. Like, everyone says middle-aged moms, but even then, I just don't see it. Like, I don't see it. He doesn't even make jokes or anything close to it. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Thanks, Resub, Kona, and Salty. Bring James Corden to the official podcast. That would be a fucking disaster. Is this considered post-comedy? Oh, there's a term I haven't heard in quite some time. I guess. I don't know. Your mom watched him a lot. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe that is the audience. But even still, like, I don't see why they'd choose James Corden. Like, there's plenty of other people that appeal to, like, a middle-aged demographic. like Amy Schumer. Yeah, him and Amy Schumer I always compare. There's a unholy the trifecta of bad comedians, like this triforce of power when it comes to awful comedy. It's Amy Schumer, James Corden, and Brendan Schaub. Those three I always interchangeably talk about, like as a comparison to one another. No, you know Brendan Schaub. He's the comedian that is always like perpetually offended when people make fun of him. But he's legitimately one of the worst comics. Up there, of course, with James Corden and Amy Schumer. I think it's a bit Tory in the resub bin in Tier 1 Gray. Who are some comedians you actually enjoy then? I still think the best stand-up comedian is Norm Macdonald, and always will be. Rest in peace. Norm Macdonald was unlike any other comedian. That guy is an actual fucking genius. I love Norm. They can't be that bad. You talking about James, Amy, and Brendan? Watch any of their specials. Well, I don't even know if James Corden has specials. He just has his fucking late show or whatever. But watch a Brendan Schaub special. It's fucking bad. Like, much worse than you're expecting. I was at the Comedy Store and Brendan Schaub was killing it and was the best of the night. I'm assuming that's a joke. I just really like the start of that. I was at the Comedy Store. That's such a cute thing to say. I was at the Good Comedian Convention and my god, Brendan Schaub was slaying. I'm sure the Comedy Store is like a real place, like the Comedy Factory or whatever. Oh, is it actually a popular venue? I haven't seen any performances at the Comedy Store. Yes, you have. I don't think so. Who would have performed there that I would have seen? Oh, there's a whole documentary on it. I mean, maybe I have, and I just don't recognize the name. That's where Joe Rogan came up. Joe Rogan is terrible at stand-up. I used to watch his podcast from time to time. I haven't tuned in a while. His podcast was enjoyable for a time, but his stand-up is awful. They even had that whole thing with chair fucking, or stool fucking, which was like a big shtick for Joe Rogan. His stand-up was bad. Like, it was actually so bad. His was quite literally like a pioneer of loud equals entertaining. He'd just yell and scream and do stool fucking. It was rough. Like, I actually could not stand his stand-up. Totally different on his podcast, though. Like, his podcast used to be pretty entertaining. I don't know if it still is. I don't hear much about it, and I don't really tune in, but his podcast used to go pretty hard. What are you going on about with the stool stuff? Surely you guys have seen this. This was a viral clip for quite a while. This might be a little dangerous to do on Twitch. Hold on, let me make sure this is the right video. Yeah, the fine art of stool humping. It was with Joe... no, it wasn't with Joey Diaz. I misremembered. Hold on, Io just came in.
Get on up! Get on up!
No. And by the way, when you see someone moving around like that on stage, I will bet you every penny I have they're not funny.
Stuff her in the corner of the couch! Oh, fucking...
Fuck. Is that the equivalent of a guy stool fucker?
There's not a lot of women
Shah
that can
has
do
kind of
that.
an
There's just a whole compilation of it.
It's quite interesting. He likes bars, he says. He likes jokes. He doesn't like stool fucking.
How does this work? When he comes, his whole body just erupts.
Anytime I saw someone miming...
I'm surprised so many of you
sex,
haven't seen this.
You know, pumping air.
Yeah.
I would just go, not funny.
No.
It was just like, it was a sign of like...
But what if there's a bit where you have to mime pumping air? Stool fucking, if it's the right bit, can be funny.
Really?
But it has to be a real comic with a real
No one,
reason
like,
to
no
fuck
one
that
he,
stool.
no one he talks to and tries to pitch it on is receptive to it. They're like, nope. Are you serious? Nope. But this was a huge part of his stand-up for quite some time. It's rough. Like, I've never liked Joe Rogan's stand-up. It's just not very good. Nice pause. I mean, you can critique him on a lot of things, but his flexibility is not one of them. That is a very impressive stance. As far as stool fucking goes, that's about as good as that's gonna look. He's a resub dash weeb and the bits ghost in Baj. We all know you love Joe Rogan's long nips. I don't know how many times I need to talk about how great his nipples are. He has the best nipples in the game. Legitimately, no one has a better set of udders than Joe Rogan. And since you brought it up, now I've got to pull up the picture, because I already know there's going to be people in here who haven't seen them. They're fucking incredible. They're actually fucking incredible. Oh, this is... this is my tweet, too. When you type in Joe Rogan nipples, it's my tweet. That's so fucking amazing. I'm glad. I know, this happens every time I bring up Joe Rogan's nipples. It always blows my mind that more people haven't seen these. They're so cool. It casts its own shadow. I've talked about that before too. Joe Rogan's nipples are kind of like this thing Carl Sagan made where you could prove the world was round using like 2 pillars. He talked about that experiment where they like erected 2 pillars and judging by the shadow they were able to deduce that the world was round. You could do that same experiment on Joe Rogan's nipples. They're like little sundials. Yeah. Like I said, he's got the best pair in the game. Like, not even close. I have never seen nipples that look like Joe's. I didn't even think they could. They're like 2 tiny little tater tots. Well, tiny's the wrong word. They're anything but tiny. You could attach a car battery to them